Hello, my name is Deasia Johnson. I'll be presenting my speech for communications class. This is my audience. Today I will explain the benefits of sex education in schools and at home and how it can lower STD rates, teen pregnancies, and allow students to make safer decisions when it comes to sexual health. Can we all take a moment to think back to when we were in grade school, learning about our bodies and the ability to procreate? Thinking about the one gym teacher who probably rather been teaching us about motor skills, but to satisfy the curriculum, he or she vaguely tells us the best way to prevent pregnancies and STDs is to never have sex until marriage. In an everyday world that preaches sex is good through the shows our children watch, peers and music, and even in the books we read, how can we have school systems that teach abstinent only but does not give those who will partake in such activities early on a method of being safe? According to Very Well Health School, teaching abstinence only does not affect the rate in which a teen will decide to have sex. Teaching a student to say no does not help those who will say yes. From my personal experience of growing up in Charles County Public School system where abstinence only is taught, I've learned more from my friends who were already partaking in sexual activities than I did in my health class. Even after discussing this matter with my mother, who was a teen mom herself, she states if she was actually taught about sexual health, she probably wouldn't have had a child so early. Sex ed is a very delicate subject for many parents, but even in the most obedient child, they can fall victim to STD or teen pregnancy. So let's discuss how we can prevent, educate, and lower rates with educated students. School systems need comprehensive sexual intercourse education. Planned Parenthood reveals studies that prove sex ed lowers rates significantly when it comes to teen pregnancies. According to Planned Parenthood, a recent examination of National Survey of Family Growth to determine the impact of sexuality education on sexual risk-taking for young people ages 15 through 19 revealed that teens who receive comprehensive sexuality education were 50% less likely to report pregnancy than those who receive abstinence-only education. Growing up, we all knew the one peer who did partake in sex and honestly had no idea what to do next. She was unsure if she was pregnant as well, too scared to go to her parents for support on what to do next. Maybe you yourself had this same experience, feeling like you had no one to confide in and being left with the fear of the choice you made, uneducated. With that being said, we wouldn't want our next generation to go through the same mistakes, so why not give them the resources they need to be safe? We see from past experiences that abstinent-only curriculum may not be the method we should continue down if we want to give our young generation a chance to make the decision with both eyes open. Although teen pregnancies are high on our spectrum of lack of sex ed in school system, let's take a look at parents being the downfall of sexual awareness in adolescence. Sexual education starts in the household. As parents, you are the protective net and the voice of reasons to adolescents. Data from several studies have indicated that direct parental involvement in sex education is not occurring frequently enough in American sex education. As parents, you want to know every aspect of your child's life, but if they feel as though they cannot talk to you and be open about sex, how will they know where to turn if they make a decision they cannot take back? According to U.S. News, kids who were taught about sexual health did not become sexually active any earlier than kids who were not educated. But kids who were sexually educated were more likely to use condoms when they did become sexually active. Growing up, my mother always allowed me to be open with her about sex. She'd rather I come to her for help than turn to someone who did not have my best interest at hand, which in turn allowed me to make safer decisions. As parents, I challenge you all to do your part and talk to your children about sex and see where their minds are at. Give them a sense of comfort when talking about it and allow them to feel safe to ask questions. Starting sex education at home won't prevent a child from having sex, but it will allow them to choose all protective methods necessary to be safe. If we work together as a team, we can appropriately and accurately achieve our goal of having more educated adolescents coming up in the world while lowering unplanned pregnancies and STDs. Let's bring our children up with all the tools they will need in life, including sex education. With that being said, I'll leave you with a quote in mind. Our schools teach only the most basic principles of human reproduction, naming and identifying the sexual organs and a simple explanation of how the sperm fertilizes the ovum. If mathematics was taught in the same cursory manner as human sexuality, when children learn to count, they would be considered masters of the subjects. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation.